again for coming out to support me, and also trying to get your students engaged and learn technology in a different way, maybe in a way that you haven't really used a lot of. And I just think it's so important that we are constantly changing for our students, and I know you do too, and I'm appreciative that you support that and are here on your time to figure some things out that you can use in your classroom for that. I did title today's session Learning in Disguise because when I look at gaming, and I've done some reading and research on it, it provides so many benefits to students, and a lot of times they don't even realize that they are learning because they're having so much fun and they're so motivated and they're so engaged. So we're going to talk about how games in the classroom can help our students. But first, of course, I had some technology issues, so thank you for bearing with me. But I attached this link to the Google Slides that I pushed out because it provides a little bit of background on why you would want to put gaming in the classroom. There's so much research out there, so much data-backed research about gaming in the classroom. But I just wanted to kind of share this little paragraph with you, talking about how games in teaching can help increase student participation, engagement. It can foster social and emotional learning. And I really like this next point where it talks about motivating students to take risks. These websites that I'm sharing with you today provide these opportunities, and you can find the ones that work best for your classroom and your students. But using multiple choice quiz games like Kahoot has even been shown in some studies to help with students with ADHD and even dyslexia. So we know that that is something that we have in our classroom, and we have to meet our students, especially our students that might not learn at the same degree as somebody else. And having continued review and practice in a game format can help those students. So thank you for being here, and we are going to start with Kahoot, like my slide said at the beginning. So it's Kahoot first, and a lot of elements that I actually really enjoy in my classroom, using it with my classroom and my students, because it's a great way to review, and you have the opportunity to talk to your kids about what they answered and why the answer makes sense, or why we can eliminate certain answer choices, because you are hosting a live lesson and can control it. You also have the opportunity to assign it to them as well. But anyhow, getting started with Kahoot, once you sign in, there's a little dashboard of other places that they connect with, but we're going to be looking at Kahoot. So here is the home button. This is where you can kind of see the things that you've done. It's like your little dashboard, and you can click from My Kahoots here. The Discover section allows you to figure out the type of Kahoot you want. So if you're looking at the ecosystems in science, like the one we are going to do and the one I did with my students, you can just type in ecosystems. You can look for the different ones that are offered. You can click on them. So if I want to do this one, of course the internet's not working that great, but it will give you a preview. So biotic versus abiotic is this first activity you can do, and then there's this ecosystem activity, and then over here's the activity preview, and it provides the questions that you are going to do. So you can see that this is a biotic versus abiotic. You look at different materials, different animals, different just things, and you determine whether biotic versus abiotic, how many questions, the time for each question that's on there, and then this is the other one. When you get here and you decide you want to host it live, you are going to, or you can assign it as homework here. but I am going to, and you can share it obviously, but you can hit start, whether you want, what type of material you want to use this for. I want to host it live, and we are going to, well, you can see that I was in session and it ends in 7 days, but I can resume the live or start the live, and then it will give you what you're going to do. So then when we load it, you can see that it's loading the game pin, and your students can use the QR code. I do find that my students have a hard time with their app getting the QR code to work, and then you place your game pin and you join at Kahoot.it, and then you have your Kahoot app as well. And then once you get all of your players here, we're going to start. So we're going to actually play this game. So now that we have looked at playing as a student in the student view of what it would look like, I thought it would be a great opportunity for you to start making your own, so you can try out Kahoot with your kids. The nice thing about it is the more you expose them to the questions and the information, the more likely they are to retain this. So it doesn't always have to be a graded thing. It can be just a fun thing where they are learning while they're playing and gathering points and getting that scoreboard and trying. And you'll see that your retention rate will probably increase along with your post assessments and summative assessments that you need to take. So now that we have played and gotten familiar with it, we have the place that is your library here at the top, and you can see all of the Kahoots that you've worked with. And then the most important is your reports tab. This is really nice because it gives you an understanding of your students, how they did. But while you're running a live Kahoot, it kind of is helpful because you see how they're doing. And then you can look at the specific questions and you can see how they did, if they need help, the students that need help, the students that didn't finish. All right, so now we're gonna switch gears and look over quizzes, and I got everybody logged into quizzes, and we are going to kind of look at navigating through quizzes, creating a quizzes, and sending that out to your students. And then of course, the data analytics behind it, looking at how your students did, what information that can help you with, and so on. So when you log into quizzes, this is what pops up at the very first login. So anytime you need to get back to the home screen, you have this quizzes button up here. But you can see over here, just like most of the websites we've been looking at, there's the dashboard right here on the left-hand side that kind of helps you. There are paid pieces of this, but we are obviously looking at the free version of that because that's really where we're at as teachers. But you can see the big blue create button, and then right here are pieces for exploring. We can search quizzes on any topic. I like to do that because sometimes if I'm wanting to look for a quick quiz, I can take something if I like some of the questions, or I can change them, delete them, add to them. So that's always nice. Or of course you can start from scratch. You will find your library tab, so anytime you make a copy of anything or you've created something that's going to be in your library, you are connected to the school, so you'll be connected to our school when you log in for the first time, as you've done before. Your reports page, and there's some settings that we can get into. But just to show you my library, you can see that there were 11 created by me, how many I've used, how many were shared with me, drafts if you didn't quite get there. So looking at that, they'll all sit here, and you can make copies of them so that you can use them every year if you'd like. If you find one that you really, really like, you can see who created it. So for this, one of my teammates provided that for me, and I was able to make it, and then put it in my content, and then I could share it out with my kids. So it was really nice. Okay, so looking at it, we are going to get started in the create section. And so this asks you what you want to create. These are fun interactive slides to create assessments from assessments that students already love. I have not used a lot of this feature, but we're going to look over that. So the quiz is making assessment and practice motivating with interactive questions. You can import content from Google Slides or Google Forms to do these things. So that's, again, so nice. So we're creating a quiz, and then this is where you can decide what type of questions you want. And when you are clicking on it, it will pop up and you can start making the changes. So what do you see here? You have all these little tools up here. You can even make an equation editor. So if you have math symbols you want to add to it, so that's nice. You can add image, audio, you can read the question, you can add a hint, and that's always helpful. Even with the answer choices and the feedback button, you can add some choices. And you can add video. Both of those things are upgrades. So that is something you have to think about. And again, like I said, I use the free version and I don't plan on any time purchasing it. And then each of these you can delete the question if you only need like 3, you'll add in your answer choices. So what I want to do right now is I want everybody to get an opportunity to try it out and go ahead and find one that you already have going for you. So the next place we're going to look is Blooket. My kids love Blooket. You probably may even have heard them talk about it or other people talk about it. It's kind of a new and popular one. So with Blooket, the kids have a good time playing different games. So with our place here, you can see that Blooket takes you to your sets. So you'll need a question set to host. And you can see from here that it is saying that we can create a set or discover a set. And then of course there's a getting started tutorial that can help you. So here we can discover from a list and search a set. Some of my kids like to play these different little ones, baby animals, if they just want to play one during recess or things like that. You can look at your history of the ones that you've done. You can assign homework like the other places. You can hit play and we can go to the Blooket Game ID. This is where you can join a game and you can see the dashboard, and we'll kind of look at that here in just a little bit. But you can see your reports pages here, and you can see how many times you've played, and things like that. So you can see that it's an upgrade to a plus. Going back to my history, so force and motion vocabulary, you can see on this dashboard analytics really quickly, like when it played, how many kids, how many were correct, how many were incorrect. You can see the leaderboard from students and how many points. But they like to play this because they can play a game with it. This first one with the panda bears says that it is 20 questions. There's all kinds of different ones, but let's say we want to take a look at this. So we can host a game. These are the questions, and we can make a copy of it. Okay, and we can look at the questions that they have and review everything. And if we like the way it looks, we can host a game. And this is where it kind of gets interesting and why the kids kind of like it, because you're playing a game mode. So if you click on each of the different games, it gives you descriptions. So for Gold Quest, you have, my kids like to play this one, exciting twists and chests full of gold. Build your riches in this chaotic mode by answering questions to earn gold and take it from other players. So this is all about speed and luck. So this would be definitely a review game, not something with new content or new information. Of course, it has a player limit and how many that should be there. So then you just hit the host game. Crypto hack, that is speed and insight. You're trying to hack others by stealing their riches, and that is a fun one as well. Fishing frenzy is speed and luck. Cast out your line and answer questions quickly to reel in the biggest fish in the whole world. So again, this can be, this has a lot to do with speed. So you're going to want to review information that your students have already learned and that they're familiar with. But there's so many different ones. They even bring out some new ones as we go. And then you have classic mode down all the way at the bottom. And this is about speed and accuracy. So there are just so many different options for this, and the kids just really enjoy it. So it's a really great option. So I was going to host a game. So here with hosting now, you can get random question. There is an upgrade option for these. So you can allow or you can change the settings. So clicking host now, you can see that we are going to go to play.bookit.com, and this is our game code, and all of our little friends that are playing are going to pop up right here.